How's it going, citizens of the blocky world? My name is BodieBoy, and in this video I'm going to be doing an insane hardcore challenge. Hardcore Minecraft is the same thing as regular Minecraft, only everything is much more difficult, and you only get one life. This makes it perfect for doing crazy and unique challenges. And this video's challenge is to spawn in the Nether and defeat the Wither all without ever leaving the Nether. So basically, here I am at the world spawn with absolutely nothing in my inventory, and it's time to figure out what to do next. Like in regular Minecraft, I should probably start out by finding a tree to punch. I did see a Crimson Forest biome, however Crimson Forest biomes are extremely deadly as they have a really high spawn rate of piglins and hoglins. I decided I'd try my luck at trying to locate a warped forest before diving into the bloodbath. You'd think with all the fall damage I was taking that this wasn't hardcore Minecraft. No, I'm just bad. But hey look, I found gravel. But more importantly, I found a third of mushroom stew. I actually completely forgot mushroom stew was even a thing, but this is going to be a staple in my diet. I ended up finding the other ingredient to mushroom stew, and all I need is some wood. And not the morning kind. It appeared that the Crimson Forest was the only direction I could go, and unfortunately I couldn't even bridge there because gravel sucks. Lucky for me, no piglins spawned in the area, because I think this is the first time in my entire Minecraft career that it took me multiple in-game days to get my first set of wooden tools. But none of that matters, because I'm about to eat some wild mushrooms that I found on the ground. What could possibly go wrong? Guys, I think I ate a bad mushroom. There's a pig fighting another pig, but one of the pigs looks human. The pig people were sentient. I was able to give one of them a gold bar, and in return, he gave me fireballs. I'm not crazy, you're crazy. Don't do drugs, kids. And once the effects of the mushroom wore off, I got to work collecting enough gold nuggets to create some armor. From rags to riches, today only, sign up for my online workshop for half off, and you too can learn how to make your money work for you and walk around in clothing made of solid gold. And no, it has nothing to do with selling these mushrooms on the streets. I need these for recreational purposes. Now when it comes to hardcore Minecraft, it's not always about the most fabulous building. It's about the most functional building. Vanity just gets in the way of survival. Use your armor slots if you want to show off your wealth. As a mushroom salesman, I commonly have run-ins with the local hooligans. A quick bop to the face usually does the trick, and once they're dead, I dance on their graves for good luck. Now I know I just said that in hardcore mode it's not all about vanity, and I lied. This is Minecraft. It's always about vanity. So once I made enough money selling mushrooms, I bought myself a little bit of property out in the suburbs, complete with white picket fence. Only the fence is purple. And I used gold blocks as decoration because that's just how rich I am. Just look at this oceanfront property. In today's market, you can't pass up on an opportunity like this. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I have 23 levels and I am just now finding stone. I made myself a full set of stone tools because wood is for poor people. And just so I no longer reeked of poor people, I gave all of my wood to the lava. The same way I gave it to your mom. I was finally able to navigate my way all the way to the Bastion remnants, and I only fell once. Or twice. Stupid nether warp block getting in my way. But it didn't matter because we finally made it. Oh, and I'm 100% stealing all of these lanterns. This is pretty much the only reason I came. I got attacked by a vicious pig and I nearly died, but that's okay because I got revenge on it by murdering its child. I found a line of pigmen all heading in the same direction. I decided to follow them and see where they led me. Turns out they led me straight to one of their treasure chests. I tried to block them out, but I was a little bit too slow and they ended up getting up here. But that's okay because I had an idea. I figured if I went ahead and pushed the piglins into holes, that they wouldn't aggro on me if I tried to open the chests. Would I be able to loot these chests or be murdered horribly? And since I didn't spontaneously combust or get completely eviscerated, I think we're fine. My 10,000 IQ play really paid off. The worst part about the Bastion so far wasn't even the piglins. It was all of the hoglins. But lucky for me, the babies don't do much damage, and they actually run away from you once you start hitting them. I murdered them anyway. I came across another chest, still terrified, and I thought maybe breaking the chest was better than opening it. I still don't know if that works, but all it did was make a mess, and then I had to sort through all the items while they were on the floor. Wouldn't recommend it. I would say that the Bastion loot was okay. But remember, that's not even why we're here. We're here for the lanterns. There wasn't anything too exciting in the rest of the chests. However, I did locate some iron, and that was going to come in super handy. And after collecting all of this stuff, I left the Bastion to go return it to my stuff collection. I finally found my house, but it's down there, and I'm up here, and I don't know how that happened. I went out to my front yard to do some gardening. This mushroom, coupled with the string I stole from the pig people, allowed me to make a warped fungus on a stick. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention, I totally found a saddle while looting the Bastion. I lured one of these homeless people over with the promise of free mushrooms, and once they got here, I threw a saddle on its back and tried to ride him. Unfortunately, I immediately fell in the lava. I made it back to land and managed to not die, however, I did learn a valuable lesson. Riding homeless people is a very dangerous sport. After a short adventure, I came across another fortress, and to make sure that my homeless person didn't escape, I buried him in a hole. During my adventures of the Nether fortress, I came across a blaze spawner, and I ended up cornering myself. Do you want to see me corner myself again? Punching a blaze with nether bricks isn't the most effective way to take them down, and this is how I nearly died. Having fallen all the way to 1 heart, I hid in a corner to catch my breath. Let's just say it's a good thing I'm wearing yellow pants. I've had just about enough fun in the Nether Fortress for one day. I'm taking my homeless person and I'm heading home. Talk about an oxymoron. And there it is, the first expansion on our oceanfront property. We did a little bit of upgrading on our house, but the key feature here is the new shack for our homeless person. I think we're gonna have to give this guy a name. I decided to go with Beanbag. I thought it had a nice ring to it. I figured the first thing on our list should be to get an iron pickaxe. How am I supposed to be the richest boy in Minecraft if I can't even mine these gold blocks? Beanbag decided to wander off and leave me stranded on an island surrounded by lava. I could tell this adventure was already starting out pretty poorly, but that means we can only go up from here, right? Well, at least I know Beanbag still loves me. Yep, he still loves me. While we didn't find a bastion, we did find another fortress, and it's whatever. It still has loot in it. And just so Beanbag remembers just how much he loves me, I'm going to be keeping him in this hole so he can think about what he's done. A little Stockholm Syndrome never hurt anyone. At least not like how I hurt this blaze. It didn't even know what hit him. It was my arrows. And fortunately for me, so far, all of the loot has been terrible. But at least I got another saddle, so I can replace Beanbag if he decides to act up. I thought I could be sneaky and loot these chests without being seen. However, that was not the case. And after taking care of those unwanted delinquents, I went ahead and stole all of their belongings. And it turns out those guys were saving 5 diamonds for me. How generous. I always hate running across blazes in these long corridors. There's almost no way to escape them, and you're bound to get hit at least once. Wither skeletons, on the other hand, are complete wimps. And one of them was so kind enough to drop his head for me. I decided to put it on to celebrate my war crimes. The rest of the Nether Fortress loot was pretty mediocre, however, I did come across some iron. This allowed me to make that iron pickaxe that I was so desperately needing. This is the only part of the Nether Fortress that I didn't end up exploring because it was just one giant clusterfrick. And when this wither skeleton charged at me, I made sure to end his life, and it just so happened he dropped his head as well. After being set on fire a few more times, I decided it was probably best if we just went ahead and left. And that's exactly what I did. I finally made it back home, and like any smart person, the first thing that I did was make a diamond sword, and then Beanbag and I decided to go off for bastion busting round 2. You know, I'm not exactly sure why baby hoglins keep attacking me, but you'd think at this point they'd be sick of dying. You guys are about to witness a murder. Ah, that fresh smell of bacon in the morning. Haha, and I finally located the statue of gold. Oh, don't mind me, I'm just going to be doing what the Spanish did to the Aztecs. That statue was 16 blocks of gold, and in return, I will now teach you about Jesus. That sounds like a pretty fair trade to me. I'm telling you, these baby hoglins have a pretty severe death wish. I didn't want to document their murders, just know that it was painful. I quickly forgot about my violent crimes when I came across another bastion. And as it turns out, this bastion was having a dance party. Well, at least until this hoglin jumped into the lava. Then it was just depressing. Some more gold blocks added to the collection. I fully expect to make a giant statue of myself out of solid gold before the end of this. Inside this chest, I found my first piece of ancient debris, which is awesome. Now I only need 3 more for it to actually be useful. Rune portals can be a good source of enchanted gold weapons and gear. I now have a full suit of shiny gold enchanted armor. You know, there's something oddly satisfying about a zombie pig riding around on a homeless person. I didn't even know this was possible, but I'm 100% about it. Also, you'd think after all of this time that I'd be better at avoiding lava, and you would be mistaken. But finding another bastion definitely helps soothe the burns. This bastion's layout was quite a bit different than the other ones. It was pretty flat, and there was a big opening in the middle. And it was someone's great idea to put a chest right out in the middle of the open for all of the piglins to see. Obviously, I went ahead and made myself a little shack of shame so I could rob them in peace. And lucky for me, these piglins were generous enough to share their ancient debris with me. And yet, for some reason, I can't seem to stop falling into the lava. I am extremely grateful that I found that fire protection armor because I would probably be dead at this point. Robbing piglin blind was one of my new favorite pastimes. I came across another bridge bastion. These bastions generally have 3 chests with some decent loot in them, as well as the statue with 16 blocks of gold. I liberated them and brought them immediately back to my base. I was beginning to accumulate enough wealth that I decided to make a treasure chest, and I wanted to do something else while I was here. With the new crying obsidian, you can make something that's called a respawn anchor with 6 crying obsidian and 3 glowstone blocks. Essentially, it allows you to set your spawn in the nether. While I'm in hardcore mode, I can't respawn, so I just thought it was a massive flex to use them as a decoration piece. I also slapped some lanterns on top of lodestone blocks, because why not? I spent a few hours raiding lower tier bastions while looking for the treasure room, and I finally came across one. I'm gonna have to give Beanbag a bucket of lava for how many times I've abandoned him in a hole. And here it is, the bridge to the treasure room. And you can see all the way at the bottom is where we're trying to go. I could see this coming in super handy when creating a farm. But this is hardcore, and I'm just looking to kill the wither, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that everything's murdered. And with all of that murder out of the way, it's time to see if these treasure rooms are all they're cracked up to be. And I was unfortunately met with a very depressing sight. Where's all the enchanted diamond armor I was promised? Where's the enchanted diamond weapons? What kind of nonsense is this? Why do I only get one netherite ingot for all of this hard work? This was the biggest waste of time in the history of history. I was expecting quite a bit more than one netherite ingot and a piece of ancient debris. I'm just going to go wallow in my sadness now. Not gonna lie, that was a horribly depressing outcome, but I have an idea for something that'll cheer me up. We take 4 gold bars and 4 netherite scrap. That gives us 1 netherite ingot. Next comes the smithing table. Slap that bad boy down, throw in our diamond sword and our netherite ingot, and bam! Now we've got ourselves a netherite sword. And that definitely puts a smile on my face. I also found this clock. It doesn't even work, and that's why I liked it. I even did a little bit of building to make the property look a bit nicer. As you can see, I am a professional builder. I even put string atop these vines to keep them from growing. And so, if you want to spruce up your yard by adding bamboo or vines, then make sure to put some string on top of it so it doesn't grow all out of control. This has been Professional Building Tips with Bodie. And if you want to see some professional-like building, click the card on screen because that's where I do my epic time lapses. And because I'm such a nice owner, I'm going to go ahead and give Beanbag a little present. Aw, look at him, he's so happy. Just remember, if you misbehave, you're dead. Anyway, back to the task at hand. As you can see, we only have 2 wither skeleton heads, and we obviously need 3 to fight the wither. It would also be nice if we had some better armor than gold. Anyway, moving on to shopping, we're going to go ahead and collect all of our money. And lucky for me, there's a local Walmart right next to my house where I can spend all of my gold. And if you remember, I trapped all of the Walmart employees in this hole right here. It's only been about 50 days. I hope they're not too mad at me. Like any good Walmart, all I have to do is throw a stack of money on the ground, and the Walmart employees help me find what I'm looking for. Now all I have to do is stand here while they do all the shopping for me. Oh, the customer service was excellent. 5 stars. This beats Amazon anytime. And at this point, I'm pretty much overflowing with goodies. Check out all the crazy cool things I got from shopping today at my local Walmart. But also, this is going to take me a couple trips to get back to my base. This quick trip has been brought to you by Ender Pearls. Ender Pearls. Teleportation in the palm of your hand. Now, while the Ender Pearls, potions, and spectral arrows will be mighty helpful in my adventures, the primary purpose of this shopping trip was to get enough iron to create an anvil. And that's simply because, unlike in your regular Minecraft playthrough, I don't have the ability to enchant armor or weapons, so I'm simply left with being able to combine loot that I find in bastions. You boys gotta do something if you're stuck in gold armor. In the early days of 1.16, you weren't able to make a brewing stand using blackstone. However, I'm happy to see that this feature has made the official release. This feature, along with piglin bartering, is the only way that you can brew potions exclusively in the Nether. And I'm going to use this feature to get kitted out for my wither fight. Using a bit of glowstone, I can create fancy level 2 potions. You know, I'm gonna be honest, I thought I was being big brained by riding my strider up this lava fall. However, that was not the case, as I got lit on fire. But that's alright, because we have these brand new potions of fire protection that saved our lives. I'm also going to blame this on Beanbag. His only job is to keep me out of the lava, and he failed. Don't worry, I'll punish him off camera later. I temporarily forgot my frustration with Beanbag when I came across this bastion. It was filled with some pretty decent loot, including a diamond pickaxe, which is the first piece of diamond equipment that I've found so far. Up until this point, I had found nothing better than enchanted gold equipment. My second big surprise in this bastion was this piglin dressed in all black. I'm not quite sure where he came from, and I've never seen one before, but he sure was pissed off. I don't know who that guy was, but it took 7 hits from a netherite sword to take him out. And it was just my luck to come across another one. But that's alright because this one was stupid and he jumped straight into this hole. It also took me pretty much 40 in-game days to come across my first treasure room, and here we are finding another one not even 5 days later. Don't worry, Beanbag, this wall is for your own protection. And definitely not so that you can't escape. I learned my lesson about these new piglins and figured chopping out their ankles would be the best approach. And it worked great. At least until I got caught out in the open. This guy ended up doing 8 hearts worth of damage on 1 hit through a full set of enchanted gold armor. That is a lot of damage. That was almost enough damage to delete this entire world. I guess I'll be hiding in holes and breaking their ankles from now on. I nearly lost my entire world over a single piece of ancient debris. And you know what? I'm kind of okay with that. Now moving on to the treasure room, I realized with the addition of the new overpowered piglins that my conquest of the treasure room wouldn't be as easy as the first time. So stick around if you want to see a pro maneuver. Basically all you gotta do is get yourself a little platform out in the middle and then ender pearl your way down. The piglins having seen your pro moves will be so terrified that they will throw themselves into the lava, killing themselves for you. And the last thing to take care of is the angry jello spawner. There's nothing quite like having a fiery piece of jello try to attack your face. What a dangerous yet delicious dessert. It's time to build ourselves into a hole and see if our hard work paid off. 2 diamond helmets and a netherite ingot isn't bad. That being said, I can't wear 2 helmets, so one of these is actually useless. And now for my flawless escape. There you are, Beanbag, I've missed you. Not really, but let's go. Barely more than 100 blocks away, I came across another treasure room bastion. Just gonna do some chippy choppy on these ankles, steal their belongings, and we're heading out. Hello? Why is there a chicken in a bastion? This is one of those rare nether chickens. I will take its meat and I will savor it. Now I'm going to assume that you don't have the memory span of a goldfish and that you already know how to get down to the treasure, so I'm just going to skip ahead to the loot. You know, with the amount of diamond gear I'm getting, you might as well just start calling me Bling Bling Boy instead of BodieBoy. The first thing I did when I got back home was make myself a diamond chestplate. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to come across one while I was out adventuring, and these netherite ingots are just begging to be used. I've now got 2 pieces of netherite armor. I am getting sexier by the minute. I was in the middle of doing something very important, but then this gas shot a fireball at me and destroyed some of my storage, which was extremely rude. Anyway, back to what I was doing before I was so rudely interrupted. I've got myself some mystery chicken here, and I think it looks great sitting on my storage shack. I also had this brilliant idea where I would start putting together a chest which would make up the inventory of my eventual wither fight. What better way to label this chest than with a mystery chicken? And if you thought we were done adventuring, well guess what? You're wrong. I still don't have that 3rd wither skeleton head, and my armor is mediocre at best. But that's alright, because I'm finding all sorts of goodies. I even found another treasure room bastion, and honestly it's getting a little bit annoying. Not because I don't like treasure, but because it took me over 40 in-game days to find my first one, and it feels like the game's rubbing it in by giving me 3 more pretty much back to back. Making it just a little bit worse, I wasted all 9 of my diamonds on a diamond chestplate only to find 2 more enchanted versions in this bastion. I honestly can't believe it's taken me this long to find a nether fortress, but it doesn't matter because we're here, we're square, and I'm ready to eat my own underwear if I can't find that 3rd wither skeleton head. And it was at this point that I became the most confused Minecraft veteran that ever existed. In my nearly 10 years of Minecraft, I've never once seen a regular zombie spawn in the nether, so this was just a little bit mind-baffling. And it wasn't just 1, but 3 zombies. Whatever, back to murdering wither skeletons, I guess. No skull. Nothing again. And nothing. Nope. After about 30 minutes of no success, I decided to build out this platform a little bit to give the wither skeletons a bit more room to spawn. And it sorta worked, but that also meant more room for blazes, and that didn't really help me out too much. Down to my last few carrots and just a handful of arrows, I thought I would end up eating my own underwear for dessert. And I know this is probably going to disappoint some of you, but turns out one of those wither skeletons I shot with an arrow dropped its head. I went through over 64 golden carrots and 2 stacks of spectral arrows, but in the end, it was totally worth it. Finally back home with our final wither skeleton head, there was only one thing left for us to do. And you may have noticed that I wasn't riding Beanbag. That's right, this is our new strider Stumpy. You remember that time Beanbag let me fall in the lava? Well, let's just say that Beanbag's on a permanent vacation out at the ranch. And just because I can, I'll be making a second netherite chestplate, and maybe some boots too while I'm at it. I don't actually need any of this quartz, but the mending on my tools tells me otherwise. And now to create the final battleground between me and the wither, I'm going to need a lot of blackstone. So here's what the plan is. I'm going to be building out a giant multi-tiered platform in which I will be able to fight the wither in the wide open. Now I could hide in a hole like most people do, but honestly, where's the fun in that? I'm a pro gamer after all, and like a pro gamer, I dodge a fireball by jumping into the lava. And here's the point in time where I almost lost it all just before the final battle. I kept my cool and swam to shore, drinking my potion of fire resistance and eating my pork chops. No sweat, I'm a pro gamer after all, and that didn't faze me one bit. Unfortunately, when shooting down the ghast, I accidentally hit a piglin, and this is the result. And for some reason, regular zombies keep spawning, and I have no idea why. I'm just hoping that it's not a bad omen about dying to the wither. Over 3 stacks of arrows later, and there's still no escape. I guess there's only one thing left to do, and that's jump straight into the lava and swim to safety. Let's just get on with the time lapse before I end up getting myself killed. What's going on, Stumpy? Now, if you don't think that was the smoothest transition between time-lapse and gameplay, then you should probably just leave, because I don't value your opinion anyway. And before you head out, make sure to leave a like on the video. I'm just kidding. I desperately crave your approval. So as you saw in the time-lapse, I built a sprawling 4-level intertwining web of platforms suspended in mid-air above the lava directly in front of my base. So I ended up making the walkways 3 wide, with the center block being soul sand, which would allow me to take full advantage of the soul speed enchantment. The idea was that it might give me the edge when trying to outrun the Wither, though I kinda doubt it. I also managed to create an unintentional mob farm, though I'm hoping that these might help me out by distracting the Wither. This brings us to the final feature of the platforms, and that is the safe houses. Inside of each of the safe houses, there's a chest filled with assorted loot. The idea is that this will help replenish my inventory during the Wither fight, and will act as a safe house in the event that I'm getting absolutely clobbered and need somewhere to hide. I've also got the Omega safe house. Inside of the Omega safe house, there are many chests stacked with all sorts of different goodies to help me fight the Wither. This is truly meant as a last-ditch effort in the event that I absolutely need it. And I don't actually plan on needing this, but it's better to have it and not need it. And that lands us just moments before the moment of truth. Will I survive or will I die? In any event, I built a giant statue of the Wither made of solid gold. I figured it was a great addition to the Wither spawn. And speaking of spawning, let's get right on with the Wither fight. Oh, wait, hold on. And there we go. Time to run. Alright, boys and girls, wish me luck. Just how all Wither fights end up going, I ended up in a hole. I guess from here on out, we'll just be doing it the old-fashioned way. And by old-fashioned way, I mean absolutely demolishing this Wither's entire existence. I honestly don't know why I'm so happy. I've already killed the Wither dozens of times. I will be taking my achievement though. Well, there you have it. After spawning in the Nether and struggling for survival, I have finally defeated the Wither. Nothing like a good old hardcore challenge. And for those of you curious, it's taken me 78 days to do this. Now, this wasn't meant to be a speed run by any means, but just in case you wanted to know. And of course, if you liked the adventure, then let me know by smashing that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel already, then please do consider subscribing. I would very much appreciate it if you did. Well, this marks the end of this adventure, but if you want to see other adventures like this one, then let me know down in the comments section what you want to see, and I will do my best to make that happen. As always, I will see you guys in the next video. BodieBoy signing off.